Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Wait and See with Celeste Lynch. I'm Celeste Lynch, and let's get started. So lately I've been thinking a lot about stepping out of my comfort zone and ways that I've stepped out of my comfort zone in the past year and how that's helped me grow as a person and helped me reach my goals. And so I was curious to hear your stories, so I put out an Instagram story on the Wait and See podcast Instagram. Go follow that. To see about times where you guys have stepped out of your comfort zone and how it helped you grow. And we got a lot of different responses, and I'm going to be addressing the responses here on the episode. So I really hope that you guys can enjoy, and I'm going to be commenting on what you guys say. And hopefully, you can find them that you can relate to or something that will inspire you to maybe do something out of your comfort zone and see what it does for you. So with that, let's get started with today's episode. So our first answer is from Sarah. Thank you so much, Sarah, for answering my little questionnaire. And she said, pretty much anytime I start a convo with someone I don't already know, it's made me less afraid of being outgoing. So I really like this answer because I know I can relate to it, and I know a lot of different people can relate to it. I've definitely gotten over it a little bit the past year or so, but I was very shy and very nervous to talk to new people, especially people who maybe I thought were better than me. I think it was like a sense of insecurity of like, oh, those people wouldn't want to talk to me. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, feeling like less than or feeling like they're not cool enough to talk to people. And let me just tell you, whoever you are, whatever you do, you're interesting. No one else is like you. And so it's so important to just know that, and know that if someone doesn't want to hang out with you, or not even just hang out with you, but if someone doesn't want to talk to you, doesn't want to, get to know you, then they're not worth your time. And I think it's just important to really know your worth. And when you realize like what your worth is, then you're not so scared because you have like that security. And so I could definitely relate to being, insecure and not wanting to talk to people, or wanting to talk to people but feeling too scared to do so. And yeah, I think this is a really good answer, and I think a lot of people can relate to it, including myself. I think, yeah, if you're very shy but you want to talk to someone, I think just do it. Most people are nice. I think most people in this world are good, and yeah, I just think it's so cool that you were able to share this, because I know I can relate to it, and I know lots of teenagers and probably even adults can relate to this answer. So thank you so much for getting involved and interacting with the podcast. So our next answer came from Chloe. Thank you so much, Chloe, for helping me out and answering the question. And she said, when I decided to become coach of the class, I was scared, but it helped because now I know I can take charge. I also really like this answer because I feel like, especially women and girls, we can feel like sort of insecure about taking charge, and even guys too, I'm sure. Um, just like being in a place of power and being in charge of people. Um, and like, I know for me, sometimes I can be scared of like people not listening to me, people not wanting to listen to me. Maybe it might be because of your age, because of your gender, because of the way you look. But I think what's most important when it comes to any sort of leadership role is believing it yourself. When you have that respect for yourself, when you carry yourself like a leader, then people will respect it. It doesn't matter who you are, how you look, any of that. It's so much more important to just have the confidence within yourself. And if you don't have the confidence, just fake it. Like, fake it till you make it, because when you put on that, like, armor, I guess you could say, of just being confident and being a leader, it translates into the way you act. And, your actions end up matching your thoughts. And people start to recognize you and respect you as a leader, which will give you that confidence. So I'm really glad that you became the coach of your class. I don't know what kind of class this is, but I wish you luck. And thank you so much for answering the question and interacting with the podcast. Our next answer is from Jack, and Jack says, when I was young, I was horrified at having a solo in a song. When I went to a summer camp for music where I met most of my friends today, I learned how to get better at soloing. My instructor told me on the day of the concert to take as many solos as I felt comfortable taking, and I decided to take 4, which was 4 more than I was comfortable with. I did really well, and now I take a solo in music whenever possible. So I think this answer is so cool because it like feeds into the same thing as the last two, just like having the confidence or even doing something when you don't have the confidence and putting yourself out there and just trying because your solo could have easily gone like really bad. You could have choked and it could have been like terrible, but you decided to do it and you found out that you were good at this, and it's a skill and you kept practicing, and that's so great that you weren't scared to take that risk and do that. So I really commend you, and I wish you good luck with your music. um, yeah, I think a lot of us have performance anxiety. I know I do. Whenever I'm in a front of a lot of people or even a few people, I can clam up, and whatever talent I might have or skill, it just flies out the window because I'm so nervous. And so I think, yeah, that's something that really resonated with me just because there's certain things that I like to do that I will only do like with myself and people I'm comfortable with instead of sharing it with the world. And I think that fact that you weren't comfortable doing 4 solos, not just 1, you did 4 and you did well. I really commend you. And so I hope that this story can serve as an inspiration for all of you because it was an inspiration for me too. So thank you so much for sending in your question, and let's get on with the next one. The next submission is from Gordon, and Gordon said, living in Portugal without learning Portuguese, an amazing time nonetheless. So I think that's really cool that you got to live in Portugal, and I think it's cool that you managed to have like tons of fun without knowing the language. I personally cannot relate to this because I've actually never been to a country where I don't speak the language because I've only been to either English-speaking countries or Spanish-speaking countries. But I will say that that's a great opportunity that you got to live there and spend time there before you couldn't travel anywhere anymore. And yeah, I think that's really important, like just not being afraid to go out and have fun and maybe make a fool of yourself. But like at the end of the day, it's worth it because you're going to go make a lot of memories and have a lot of fun. So thank you, Gordon, for your submission. So our next answer is from Jalen, and Jalen said, I stepped out of my comfort zone and played golf for the school's team. Mind you, I live in Maryland, so I got clowned for it, but I ended up being the county's women's championship. So I think that's super cool that you played golf because I have never played golf and I don't know anything about it. So I think that's super cool. And second of all, that sucks that people clowned on you for it because literally, like, you're playing a sport and you were like obviously good enough to get into this championship. And you like tried something new. So I think that's great. And that just goes to show like if you do get clowned for something, don't take it to heart because those people probably have something that they're insecure about and they don't want to do or they're too scared to do, and you were brave enough to like step out and do it at the chance of being ridiculed for it. And like some of the biggest artists or biggest athletes or biggest anything always get hate and criticism. So if you're doing that, like everyone gets, put towards some criticism for anything that they do. So just know that whatever you do, like you might get hate for it, and that sucks, but that's just the way it is. And as long as you yourself like are proud of your accomplishments, then that really is what matters. So I hope that you keep on golfing, and I wish you luck with your new sport. Okay, guys, so our final submission today is from Isabella Jade, who was on the podcast yesterday. She is a member of Typical Control, so if you haven't listened to that episode, right after you finish this one, go listen to that one because they are really cool, and it was a really cool first interview to have. And her response to the question was probably because we were talking about it yesterday, but releasing our first few songs. Honestly, it just allowed me to be open to criticism and be more of my own person. So we talked about this on the episode, so if like you want to hear more in depth about that, again, go listen to it. But she is really, if you think about it, like super brave just to like release her work like that because like when you put stuff out there, especially when you're in high school, people love to just like clown on you, which isn't fair, but opening yourself up in that way and being vulnerable like that can lead you to so much opportunity. And, I hope that their music grows more and more. But yeah, I think people who try new things, people who put their work out for the public to see, and not just the public, but like your friends and family to see, are, it's just really brave of you to do because like you can really take criticism to heart or you can choose to let it be a motivator. And so I'm glad that you put out your music because I listen to it and y'all should go listen to it too. And yeah, thanks so much for your submission. Finally, I wanted to talk to you guys about a time that I stepped out of my comfort zone and how it helped me grow. So, starting this podcast was definitely a step out of my comfort zone because I had thought about starting my own podcast for a while. I had listened to them, and I was always really just captivated by just, I guess, hearing people talk on the internet. I mean, that basically is what this is. But anyway, I was so nervous because I didn't know like the first thing about how to start or how to make the logo or what to talk about, and I just did it. I didn't know what I was doing and I don't really know what I'm doing at this point either, but I think just sitting down and just doing it was such a big step for me and it really has allowed me to sort of have something to do, gives me a project. But also now that the podcast is getting more interactive, it's giving me a chance to really like learn more about people's lives and like what they do. With the first interview that we did on the podcast on our last episode, um, I was so nervous, guys. I was so nervous, and you might be able to tell in my voice, but I really enjoyed it, and it's something that I want to have on the podcast a lot more. I wanna have more guests, more interviews, and just to really showcase others' perspectives other than mine and we'll just learn more about people. And I think when we open ourselves up to new stories, it can really help us grow and learn more and really reevaluate our own opinions and see, why we think the way we do. And yeah, that was such a big step for me. And I hope that this podcast continues for a very long time and that I can, use this as a way to grow and to learn more about y'all. And hopefully, y'all can learn a little bit from listening to this or get something out of it. And yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for continually supporting. Some of y'all have been great. Even like there was a while where I wasn't posting a lot and y'all were like sending me messages like we want more episodes and all of that. And that was something that really helped me and just your kind gestures really encouraged me to keep going and now I'm so pumped to continue the podcast. Just like making the YouTube channel, making the new logo has really inspired me with more ideas and I'm hoping to be a lot more organized and just be a lot more engaging for you guys, paying more attention to statistics and seeing what you guys like instead of whatever is easiest for me. So again, I just appreciate your support and thank you so much for always listening. So before we finish up this episode, I wanted to talk to you about today's organization that I'm going to highlight. So if you haven't listened to the past episodes, I encourage you to do so. But every episode in September, we're highlighting a different organization that helps kids with childhood cancer because it is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And today's organization is the Ronald McDonald House. So if you don't know what the Ronald McDonald House is, it is a place and there's locations all around the country around children's hospitals where families can go and stay closer to the hospital in order to provide the support for their kid who might be admitted, maybe for treatment. And so they can go there and sleep, get food, shower, and just try to recharge in order to go back to provide the support that their child in the hospital needs. There's a lot of different ways to get involved with the Ronald McDonald House. I know at my school, they've done days where everyone will like bring food to like make a meal and serve it there, but I'm sure there's other ways that you can volunteer, that you can donate. So I really encourage you to do your own research on this organization and find a way that you can support because it is such a lifesaver for families who, need to, still do all the things to be a human, but also provide the care for their kids. So thank you so much. That's going to wrap up today's episode, but I want to say thank you to everyone who submitted an answer to the prompt. I really appreciate it, and if you want to be featured in one of these more interactive episodes, then remember to follow the podcast on Instagram at Wait and See Podcast. And remember to share the podcast with your friends, follow us on Spotify, and anywhere you get podcasts. Make sure to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because hopefully in the near future I want to get some videos up there, maybe some exclusive content, so watch out for that. Yeah, thank you so much and have a great day.